Hello, everybody, again. Pick up on Isaiah chapter 32. Excuse me. 32, 33, 34, 35. Till I get to looks like 2.5 pages. See, again, it's picking up after all these warnings to various places. Last one to Egypt. See, a king will reign in righteousness, and rulers will rule with justice. Each one will be like a shelter from the wind and a refuge from the storm, like streams of water in the desert, and the shadow of a great rock in a thirsty land. Then the eyes of those who see will no longer be closed, and the ears of those who hear will listen. The fearful heart will know and understand, and stammering tongue will be fluent and clear. No longer will the fool be called noble, nor the scoundrel be highly respected. For fools speak folly, their hearts are bent on evil. They practice ungodliness and spread error concerning the Lord. When hungry, the hungry they leave empty. From the thirsty, they withhold water. Scoundrels use wicked methods. They make up evil schemes to destroy the poor with lies, even when the plea of the needy is just. But the noble make noble plans, and by noble deeds they stand. It's a warning against all those false prophets, false preachers, so forth, leaders of men who pretend to care, but they don't. They're false. We're warned about these long ago. And all those they blind, and all those mislead, and all that will be their eyes and hearts, ears will be opened in time. You women who are so complacent, rise up and listen to me. You daughters who feel secure, hear what I have to say. In little more than a year, you who feel secure will tremble. The grape harvest will fail, and the harvest of fruit will not come. I don't know if that's referencing that's back then, but it's going to be exactly like a year here. It's going to happen. I don't know. But it's just type of things that are going to be coming fast. Tremble, you complacent women. Shudder, you daughters who feel secure. Strip off your fine clothes and wrap yourselves in rags. In other words, humble yourself. Beat your breasts for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vines, for the land of my people, a land overgrown with thorns and briars. Yes, mourn for all houses of merriment, for the city of revelry. That could pertain to Vegas and so many other places. The fortress will be abandoned, the noisy city deserted, citadel and watchtower will become a wasteland forever, the delight of donkeys, a pasture for flocks, till the Spirit is poured on us from on high, and the desert becomes a fertile field. Could be referencing many places again. The Lord's justice will dwell in the deserts, his righteousness live in the fertile field. The fruit of that righteousness will be peace, its effect will be quietness and confidence forever. My people will live in peaceful dwelling places and secure homes and undisturbed places of rest. Though hail flattens the forest and the city is leveled completely, how blessed you will be, sowing your seed by every stream, and letting your cattle and donkeys range free. So this is after the earth will return to Eden. Everybody will live in peace, harmony, all things will be provided for. Woe to you, chapter 33, woe to you, destroyer, the devil, and those who serve him. You who have not been destroyed. Woe to you, betrayer, you who have not been betrayed. When you stop destroying, you will be destroyed. When you stop betraying, you will be betrayed. Lord, be gracious to us. We long for you. Be our strength every morning, our salvation in time of distress. At the uproar of your army, the peoples flee. When you rise up, the nations scatter. That's a good thing to say each morning. Lord, be gracious to us, for we long for you. Be our strength every morning, our salvation in time of distress. When you rise up, the nations scatter. Your plunder, O nations, is harvested as by the young locusts. Like a swarm of locusts, people pounce on it. The Lord is exalted, for he dwells on high. He will fill Zion with his justice and righteousness. He will be the sure foundation for your times, a rich store of salvation and wisdom and knowledge. The fear of the Lord is the key to this treasure. Fear of the Lord, respect the Lord, honor the Lord, paying attention to the Lord, having him first and foremost in your life, prioritizing him. This is the sure foundation for which you restore salvation, knowledge, and wisdom. Look, their brave men cry aloud in the streets. The envoys of peace weep bitterly. The highways are deserted. No travelers are on the roads. The treaty is broken. Its witnesses are despised. No one is respected. The land dries up and wastes away. Lebanon is ashamed and withers. Sharon is like the Arabah. Bashan and Carmel drop their leaves. Everything will be barren. Now will I arise, says the Lord. Now will I be exalted. Now will I be lifted up. You conceive, chafe. You give birth to straw. Your breath is a fire that consumes you. Peoples will be burned to ashes like cut thorn bushes. Thorn bushes, they will be set ablaze. You who are far away, hear what I have done. You who are near, acknowledge my power. The sinners in Zion are terrified. Trembling grips the godless. Who of us can dwell with consuming fire? Who of us can dwell with everlasting burning? Those who walk righteously and speak what is right, who reject gain from extortion and keep their hands from accepting bribes, who stop their ears against plots of murder and shut their eyes against contemplating evil. They are the ones who will dwell on the heights, whose refuge will be the mountain fortress. Their bread will be supplied, and the water will not fail them. It was those who don't follow God, don't do as God commands and what God wants us to do. They're going to suffer. They're going to be trembling in fear. But those who walk righteously and do what is right, try to do what is right, reject gain from extortion, keep their hands from accepting bribes, try to do what is right, always. Their bread will be supplied, and the water will not fail them. They will not go hungry or die of thirst. Your eyes will see the king in his beauty, and view a land that stretches afar. In your thoughts you will ponder the former terror. Where is that chief officer? Where is the one who took the revenue? Where is the officer in charge of the towers? You will see those arrogant people no more. People whose speech is obscure, whose language is strange and incomprehensible. Gone. Taken. Look on Zion, the city of our festivals. Your eyes will see Jerusalem, a peaceful abode, a tent that will not be moved. Its stakes will never be pulled up, nor any of its ropes broken. There the Lord will be our mighty one. It will be like a place of broad rivers and streams. No galley with oars will ride them, no mighty ship will sail them. The Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king. It is he who will save us. Again, Jerusalem not necessarily the city Jerusalem we know of, but it means city of peace, like I've been informed. So the final true city of God. Your rigging hangs loose, the mast is not held secure, the sail is not spread. Then an abundance of spoils will be divided, and even the lame will carry off plunder. No one living in Zion will say, I am ill. The sins of those who dwell there will be forgiven. This is what you want to aspire to. Be there, be one of those. Be in heaven. Those will be placed here, humble and meek. This is what they have to look forward to. Chapter 34. Come near, you nations, and listen. Pay attention, you peoples. It was now. Pay attention now and listen. Let the earth hear and all that is in it, the world and all that comes out of it. The Lord is angry with all nations. His wrath is on all their armies. He will totally destroy them. He will give them over to slaughter. Can't defeat the Lord. Their slain will be thrown out, but their dead bodies will stink. The mountains will be soaked with their blood. All the stars in the sky will be dissolved, and the heavens rolled up like a scroll. All the starry host will fall like withered leaves from the vine, like shriveled figs from the fig tree. This is Revelations. My sword has drunk its fill in the heavens. See, it descends in judgment on Edom. The people I have totally destroyed. The sword of the Lord is bathed in blood. It is covered with fat. The blood of lambs and goats, quite fat from the kidneys of rams. The Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Edom. The wild oxen will fall with them, the bull calves and the great bulls. Their land will be drenched with blood, and the dust will be soaked with fat. For the Lord has a day of vengeance, a year of retribution to uphold Zion's cause. Again, what's a day or a year to God? So it doesn't necessarily mean one day as we see it, 1 year as we see it. It'll be over a long period of time. Edom's streams will be turned into pitch, her dust into burning sulfur. Her land will become blazing pitch. It will not be quenched night or day. Smoke will rise forever. From generation to generation, it will lie desolate. No one will ever pass through it again. The desert owl and the screech owl will possess it. The great owl and the raven will nest there. God will stretch out over Edom the measuring line of chaos and the plumb line of desolation. Her nobles will have nothing there to be called a kingdom, and all her princes will vanish away. Thorns will overrun her citadels, nettles and brambles her strongholds. She will become a haunt for jackals, a home for owls. Desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and wild goats will bleat to each other. There the night creatures will also lie down and find for themselves places of rest. The owl will rest there and lay eggs. She will hatch them and care for her young. Under the shadow of her wings, there also the falcons will gather, each with its mate. Look in the scroll of the Lord and read. None of these things will be missing. Not one will lack her mate. For it is his mouth that has given the order, and his spirit will gather them together. Gathering creatures that he's going to want to have here after the rebirth of the earth. He allots their portions. His hand distributes them by measure. He will provide for them. They will possess it forever and dwell there from generation to generation. Speaking of the animals of the earth. Chapter 35. The desert and the parched land will be glad. The wilderness will rejoice and blossom. Like the crocus, it will burst into bloom. It will rejoice greatly and shout for joy. The glory of Lebanon will be given to it, like the splendor of Carmel and Sharon. They will see the glory of the Lord, the splendor of our God. Strengthen the feeble hands, steady the knees that give way. Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come to save you. Fear the Lord, respect the Lord, look for the Lord. He's coming. Then will the eyes of the blind be opened, and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then will the lame leap like a deer, and the mute tongue shout for joy. Water will gush forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. The burning sand will become a pool, the thirsty ground bubbling springs. In the haunts where jackals once lay, grass and reeds and papyrus will grow. And a highway will be there. It will be called the Way of Holiness. It will be for those who walk on that way. The unclean will not journey on it. Wicked fools will not go about on it. No lion will be there, nor any ravenous beast. They will not be found there. But only the redeemed will walk there, and those the Lord has rescued will return. They will enter Zion with singing. Everlasting joy will crown their heads. Gladness and joy will overtake them, and sorrow and sighing will flee away. It speaks of heaven. And there, pick up in chapter 36. It's interesting what they're talking about there. Some of the Latin that I got in this new message, which I haven't, which will be after this one, just I'm posting here. Some Latin speaking of translation I get being the way, body, corpus, some derivative of body, the way of body, completed by God, sacred divine, never to die. You believe in God. And later, way of body again, are something then God. And it mentions Malakesh, which is Jewish, Hebrew, Goshen. Goshen being the land given to the Hebrews by Joseph in Egypt, reference the land given by God to his people, not just Hebrews, all people. Fiery king, where the land of the fiery king is in Goshen, unseen to eye, it's yet to be revealed. Something in Goshen, which was Egypt, land in Egypt given by Joseph to the Hebrews. Malakesh, fiery king, from what translation we can get. So I don't know if it's meant referencing the devil, something unseen to eye there, or fiery king, referencing about God. Yet something there that's unseen to the eye. I'm not sure which it was referencing, but then it mentions something like that. And here, they're just saying about the way of holiness, the way of body, divine, sacred divine. So, could be referencing about that. It's interesting that when I do these readings and old messages in conjunction with the most recent messages, there's parts of it that relate to each other. Back there in chapter 31, which is the previous posting, talking about the Lord whose fire is in Zion, whose furnace is in Jerusalem. And it starts with, woe to those who go down to Egypt for help, who rely on horses. So maybe there's something bad hidden in Egypt. So we'll see. There's more revealed. That chapter, we'll pick up at 36 next time. Hopefully I give you some enlightenment. Again, heed these words. Heed these words. Read the word. Ask for discernment. Read the word each day. It's only going to help you, not hinder you. Peace, Christ, God bless.